So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important lecture of Navamsha. I have been doing the series of Navamsha with you people, talking about how a marriage can be and how will you have life after marriage, how will be your mother-in-law, how will be your father-in-law, how will be your brother-in-law, how will be your sister-in-law, the elder brother-in-law, the younger brother-in-law, and we were also discussing about the quality of the marriage in our previous lecture. So lot of manthan, we have done on the Navamsha. And today is one of my most favorite classes of the Navamsha. When people come to me and they ask me, Guruji, what kind of charity I can do in my life, right? What kind of mantras I can do in my life. But on the same time, there are very rare people, very few people who would ask me what kind of karmas I can do in this life. What is that message coming from my past life karmas for this life that, hey, look, if you do these two or three or four things in your life, beside you do your mantras or not, or beside you do your charities or not, but if you can do these two, three things or four things in your life, lot of prarabdha will be settled. Lot of your past life karmas will be settled if you can do these two or three or four things in your life. That is something I want to teach you. That is known as the topic for the day is your promise to the Navamsha. Should I repeat? Your promise to the Navamsha. Something which Navamsha is giving his hand like this and asking, can you do this one promise to me? That when you give that promise to Navamsha, what will happen? The first thing that will happen will be that you'll be able to burn your prarabdha. Means you have a certain amount of high intensity past life karmas that you need to settle. And those karmas are in a particular bhava in the Lagna Kundli, in the D1 chart, but that message you have to identify from the Navamsha. If you can identify that and if you start working on that bhava, that is when tons of your bad karmas will be accumulated, will be burnt, will be finished, and your life in this body and the next janma, both of them, will reach to a level where you will have a lot of free will. Why we don't have free will? We don't have free will because we are jailed because of our karmas. We are in an exile because of our karmas. That exile could be 70 years, 65 years. Nowadays, people are going in 60, 65, 70. So that exile is maybe 60 years. For some people, it is not even 40. They are going. So it is very important to attain moksha, within your body. That when you have this body, if you do something which can bring you very close to the moksha, which is the promise that Navamsha wants to take from you, will settle so many karmas, and especially people in the western part of the world. They would come to me and say, Navneet sir, we don't know which temple to go, and we don't have, especially in the Schengen countries, in the European countries, they don't have access to the temples nearby. You'll find a temple or a gurudwara in a building, maybe on the top floor of a building, and it's like 2 hours of drive or 2 hours of a train to reach that temple, and they go very occasionally. And then they are so much occupied, 12 hours of work overtime, and then so much of peer pressure and rat race and everything. They don't get time to do 2 hours of sadhana. If I tell them, okay, do 16 rounds of this, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra at least take, for me, it takes 2.5 hours. If I do it very politely and very nicely. At times it may take 8 to 10 minutes for me for one mala. So 10 minutes for one mala is 160 minutes, which is good 2 hours and how many? 40 minutes. And if you want to do very fast, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, then you can do it maybe in 1.5 hours. But I would always say do it with love. So if you don't have time for all these things, and you're so occupied in Kali Yuga, which there is a possibility that you all can be, but still you can do one or two karmas. That Navamsha is giving you the message. And if you do those karmas, if you give your dharma towards those areas of life, that is when the real purpose of Navamsha is fulfilled. Up till now, you were dissecting, or you were analyzing Navamsha to understand what is there for you. How is the marriage? What kind of business can you do? What kind of diseases can you get from the fourth house of the Navamsha? Amount of sukha you can get from the fourth house of the Navamsha. How much bhakti will you get? What are the chances of the moksha? How is your life partner? How is your nature? What is your work? How much hard work will you have to do? What are the profits and losses? Discussing about doing the housekeeping business from the Navamsha. Those Saturn positions that we've discussed. How many of you really got motivated? Oh, let's do. So many questions came to me. Can I do it? Can I do that? So we were always asking from the Navamsha, tell me this, tell me that. But this time, this technique is telling you that, hey, focus on this area of your life. If you want to burn your karma, if you want the Navamsha to be happy, because Navamsha is a chart which is directly coming from Vishnu, or in the layman term, you can say it's a chart that has blessing of Vishnu. Vishnu is Sukha. Vishnu, if you pray to Vishnu, you're gonna have Sukha in this life. If you pray to Mahadev, you are going to die very peacefully. This is the difference between the bhakti. You really want to die very peacefully? Pray to Mahadev. You want to live peacefully? Pray to Vishnu. It's that simple as that. And Shiva will identify you. Shiva will identify you that you want Sukha in this life. He'll divert you to Vishnu. He will make you a Krishna devotee. Because it is time for the Sukha in this body. So, what is that method? Let me share my whiteboard with you, my favorite part. And let me tell you how to identify that part. So, let me make a horoscope, a kundli for you based on the bhavas. I hope you all can see the screen loud and absolutely clear, right? Everybody can see it. So let me make, this is what I'm making is a D1 chart. Because the karma that you are supposed to do, the promise that you are supposed to keep in this life is to be seen from the Lagna Kundli, from your circumstances, Lagna, D1. And the input of what you're supposed to do is going to come from the D9. It's going to come from the D9. Very, very important. So it should come from Navamsha. Navamsha is your prarabdha. It's the kundli of your prarabdha. It is the kundli of the pending karmas. It is the kundli of your past life journeys that you've done. It's the placement of all the good and bad karmas done in the past. So D9, Navamsha. Okay. Now, suppose you are an Aries Lagna here. I'll have to take Kal Purush, or you can take any Lagna. Let me take Aries. And the technique is, let me use another pen. The technique is, you see what Lagna did you get in Navamsha. So suppose you have Gemini Lagna in the Navamsha. Okay. Now you bring this Gemini and see which house is occupied by Gemini in your D1 chart. So since it was a Lagna Kundli of Aries sign for me, the Gemini will fall in the third house. This is where you have to see which house has the Lagna Rashi of your Navamsha falls in the D1 chart. Okay, I'll give you another example. Okay, let me give you one more example here so that you can understand it forever. Suppose, let's make a which Lagna? Let's make a Scorpio Lagna, or we can make a, okay, we can make what? We can make another maybe Leo rising or Virgo rising. Huh? So let's make a Virgo rising. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Suppose this person has also got D9 Lagna as Gemini, or we can change this also. Want me to change this? Right? Let me change this. Let me make it as a probably Pisces Lagna. So let me write here Pisces. Okay. Now, if you bring this Pisces sign into the D1, it is going to the 7th house. Okay. So you know what? 7th house SH of your horoscope from the D1 is your promise to the Navamsha. Is your promise to the Navamsha. So what we are going to do in this lecture, we are going to cover if the Lagna of the D1, of the D9, I'm sorry, falls in the first house of your D1, what is the promise? If it falls in the second house, what is the promise? If the third house, what is the promise? And until the 12th house. By now, you all have calculated that the Lagna of your D9 falls in which house of your D1 chart. I want you, I'll come back to the screen again. I want you to type that, your D9 Lagna falls in which house of your D1? Right. Tell me. If you remember your D9 Lagna, Amitesh says 11th house, Sunny says 3rd house, 12th house. For me, it's 10th house. Disha is in the 8th house. Shreya, 1st house. Fantastic. 10th house, 9th house. Wow. Okay. It's house. Simranji, which house? You said it's house. If it is Vargottama Lagna, wow. Vargottama Lagna means the Lagna. It's in the first house itself. Vargottama means the first house. Okay, so you need to check. Okay, Vargottama. Perfect, fantastic. I have tons of respect for the people who have Vargottama Lagna, honestly speaking. Vargottama D9, Pranam. Very, very high respect because they have done certain good karmas in the past. Right? For sure. There's no doubt about it. Fifth house, fifth house. So, for all the new students who have just joined, we are learning about your promise to your Navamsha, your promise towards your Prarabdha. This was what we are supposed to cover in the previous lecture, and then we are finishing here. So for understanding this, what we do is we go to the Navamsha and see what is the Lagna of your Navamsha. So Lagna of the Navamsha maybe here is Pisces, and see this sign falls into which house in the D1, and that is your promise to the Navamsha. That is one karma that you will do in your life to fulfill your past life karma settlements and make your that bucket that you're carrying on your head little lighter, so that you can become closer to the moksha, irrespective of your puja part. Maybe your promise is doing a lot of mantras. Even that can be a promise, but for many people it can be different promises in different areas of life. Okay, very nice. I think everyone here has given different sorts. So I think all the 12 houses will be covered here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I go to the whiteboard and I'll make this session little interactive session, but before that, I would also like to give you a lot of information. Now, suppose that in this case, the Lagna is Vargottama. Let's take this scenario. A lot of people have Vargottam Lagna. When you have Vargottam Lagna, it means Omkara. It means Om. When you say Om, the Sukshma Panchakshari, meaning of Om is to attain highest level of knowledge that can give you moksha. When you were taking the birth, when you were assigned the body, because your soul doesn't remember it right now. In fact, your mind does not remember it right now. It doesn't remember it right now. No. At that time, you remember it. The promise is that you made a promise that, hey, I'll work on myself. I will increase my knowledge. I will increase my Brahma Jnana. And I will work on my intelligence and my body. For such people, the karma is for you yourself. This birth, this promise of the Navamsha is on self-improvement. You have to take care of yourself. You need to do constant yogas. You need to do bhakti. You need to put in a lot of intelligence into learning classics. What is your real development? Your real development is when I grow up here, grow up here. That is your promise towards Navamsha, towards your Prarabdha. All the people who've got Vargottam Lagna, their promise to the Navamsha is that I will grow mentally. I tell these people to read Shiv Mahapuran. I tell these people to read Shrimad Bhagavatam. I tell these people to read Ramayana, Read Jyotisha, learn Jyotisha, because these are the only ways you can improve yourself. And you know what? 99%, if you don't have a severe curse, the exception is the severe curse. If you don't have a severe curse, 99% of the people having Vargottam Lagna, they will have long life. And when you have long life, it is an opportunity for you to improve yourself to the maximum level. And here, the improvement is not of the body, it is the improvement of your Atman, the mind. Make as much pure to yourself you can. Do not say lies. Because when you're lying, you're not lying to other, you're lying to yourself. You're just lying it to yourself, you're not lying it to others. Trust me. So it is you. You are the promise to the Navamsha. It is like when a child is born in your family, you want that child to give you a promise that he will take care of himself. You know, when the wife of the soldier, when the soldier goes on the border, the wife takes just one promise from the soldier that you will come back. Will you take care of yourself? Just take care of yourself. When I travel, what do you say? What do you all people tell me? Guruji, please take care of yourself. Come back, in the class, you know, travel properly. All these things, what you say. That is the promise. Now, if the lagna of your Navamsha falls in the second house of your D1 chart, the promise that Navamsha wants you is to take care of your family, Kutumbha, and not only the family where you are born, but the entire Rishtedari, the entire Kutumbha, the entire lineage, your uncles and great uncles, mama, chacha, taya, everyone, the Navamsha is shouting at you or telling me, hey, you need to take care of them. If they're asking for some help, if you can get their children placed in good companies, if you can give some job, some money, help them to get their home, get their education, especially for your kutumba, your charity should begin from the lineage, from the family, maybe your masi or a mama or uncle or a great uncle or great uncle. Anyone who has it in the second house? Anyone? Did anyone has in the second house? Or he has been ever forced to work for the kutumba, for the parivara, for the family, for the nourishment? Anyone? I don't think we have anyone in the second house. My daughter, they will have to take care of the kutumba, the parivara. Lot of time would be spent with the parivara, and not only in this parivara, but after marriage also, like Neeraj has for the daughter. So that means after marriage there will be another kutumba which will be associated, so she'll have to take care of that kutumba also. In a way, there will be lot of karmic settlements that will be happening between her and the family members. The message from the Navamsha is to save money. It is very important for such people not to be spendthrift, because if they become spendthrift, they are going to accumulate more karma. You need to save money. You need to create wealth and utilize it in the noble causes. Navamsha says you need to watch what you eat, because Navamsha is also, the second house is also your taste buds. Here, Navamsha is not saying you to eat anything and everything. Navamsha is telling you to eat minimum, be sattvic, because I am taking care of the second house. So wherever Vishnu sits, Vishnu is going to improve the situation. The situation can only be improved with the sattva. So whatever is there in the second house, you have to give away that. You don't have to take it. You have to give away. Now, what you have to give away in the second house? Give away, your spending nature to the accumulation of the wealth. So you want to buy 10 things, buy 4 and keep 6 in your saving so that you can give those 6 to your family. Family before marriage, after marriage. If you can eat 2 chapatis, eat 1. You have to give away. When you learn sciences, you give away your time, hard work. It is very difficult to study for 4 hours every day after college or after school, when you're working, when you have pressure. That's what Vargottam Lagna is. Vargottam Lagna people should learn as much they can every single day. They should chant Om Namah Shivaya or at least meditate on Om. Third house. We have Siddharth for the third house. We have Sushil for the third house. Sunny for the third house. What is third house? One promise. Just one promise. Just one promise. And that promise is the biggest promise. One word for Navamsha that falls in the third house. You need to be courageous. Simple. Navamsha shouts at you and says, anything you do it with courage. And when you have courage, you don't give up easily. You do not give up easily when you have courage. Yes, I have it in the third house, and that's what I've been doing all my life. Leading from the front, having courage to speak in front of you people. When I was 10 years old, I used to speak in debates, used to stand on a stage in the school and used to win declamation contests. Courage to speak in front of 500 students, 1000 students. Courage to perform, courage to speak, courage to teach, courage to help my siblings, courage to help each one of you, courage to help my friends, courage to give away money, give away resources to my brotherly, sisterly figures. Courage to help people start their startups. Many people don't have that courage. And Sahajamsha Amitesh is all about courage to keep patience. It is very easy to lose patience. It doesn't require courage. Courage is required to keep patience and wait for your right turn. The message from the Navamsha is be patient. You're going to achieve it. And that should also be, your promise. Suchitra ji, not only with courage on the YouTube, will you believe when I started my career on YouTube, I used to come live on Facebooks, take all the questions, talk to people. Such sessions used to be live and free live sessions on YouTube, Insta, way back in 2018, 19, 20. I used to do that. It requires a lot of courage. I would say go live. People will start shouting. Until unless you speak something good and productive, people will start, giving you whatever they can. It's Kali Yuga. Are we born with it or it's our own karma? It's our own karma. You have to understand that we have to do this. Because Navamsha has taken up one of your houses and from there she took the Lagna and she says that, okay, now will you keep the promise? It is like a girlfriend selects you and she tells you that, okay, I selected you. You said me love you. I love you. Will you marry me? So you have to marry that house. You understand? You have to marry that house. Because when you marry, you have to do something for that person, every day. Me and my son both have third house, which is Vargottama of mine. I don't know how it is Vargottama of yours if it is in the third house. I don't know. Okay, so third house is about keeping courage and having lot of prakram. And whatever knowledge I have, I will also communicate. I would love to communicate. I will not be scared of communicating. You see how many astrologers are there, who are communicating for views, who are communicating for this, that. And when they communicate, they're a little insecure also. And they'll keep telling you he's copying, she's copying, this, that, what is happening. And internally they're insecure. Why? Because they don't have courage. Because my bhagya is my bhagya, your bhagya is your bhagya, my money is my money, your money is your money, my this is my this, your this is your this. Can you take my this bhagya? Even my son, my brother, my sibling, nobody can take it. There's a suffering, I will suffer. If there's a success, I will take the success. That kind of courage is the promise if your Navamsha falls in the third house. Yeah, the turn of comments, I know that. What if it falls in the fourth house? Your Navamsha Lagna falls in the fourth house. You're supposed to take care of your mother, motherly figures, your mother nation. You have to do something for your mother nation. There's some karma pending. You have to do something for your mother. You have to do something for your village, for your area, for your block where you live. You have to do something for nourishing your family every single day. If it is in the male's chart, I tell them to carry some sweets and fruits home every day in their own hands and give it to the family. Make it a routine that buy some fruits, buy some sweets, go home every day with your hand. You will be forced to do it. Let me see who has it in the fourth house. Anyone who has it in the fourth house? None. None is there in the fourth house. If it falls in the fourth house, your highest promise should be promised towards the family. You have to be dedicated, Akanksha, Raghav, Sushilji. You have to be committed to your family. That is the promise Navamsha is asking from you. If you buy a vehicle, take care of that vehicle. You want to know somebody's health, how much somebody take care of his or her health? Just sit in his or her car and it will tell you that person take care of his or her health. Because if the car is cleaned and beautiful and perfumed from inside, that person is going to take care of his health. Guaranteed. If the car is dirty, those people will never ever have good health. That's the promise of Shukra, Venus. Kanksha says, I took care of my mother during her chemo for months. You know how many karmas you have burnt, Akanksha, by this? How many karmas? Tons of karmas you've taken care of. Tons of karmas you've taken care of. बहुत अच्छा कर्म कर गए आप इस जन्म में. You've done fantastic in this birth. When you go up there, God, Chitragupta, everyone will be happy for you. Everyone. Well done, Akanksha. They're going to say these words to you. Because fortunately, unfortunately, you understood. See what Sushil is saying? I got 3 nationalities. Too many karma to fulfill. Yes. Lot of karma. The promises for the 3 nationalities, Sushil. One is where you were born. That is the primary one. You understand? For your family, you have a promise. For the comforts of the family, for the nourishment, you have a promise. You have a promise for your heart. You have a promise for your heart. And then you should do pranayam every day. That is a very small kind of a promise Navamsha is asking from you. So do a pranayam every single day of your life. Very, very important. Very important. What if it goes to the 5th house? Your promise is towards mantras. Your promise is towards your children. If you don't have children, you need to be associated with an orphanage. You need to do something for the children. I've seen this in the chart of many teachers, school teachers, educationists, because they're doing it for the children, for education. The promise that Navamsha is asking from you is mantra shastra. Learn mantras. Chant mantras. Your karmas will be gone. That is the karma that your prarabdha want you to do. And if you can identify that promise and do it, you've done the job for this body, for this particular birth. The job is done. The job is done. Sixth house. The message in the 6th house, if your Navamsha sign falls in the 6th house of your D1, it is the promise of charity. There should not be a single day in your life when you have not done the charity, when you have not done the dana. It is the promise to help Rishi Munis, because the 6th house is house of celibacy and Rishi Munis. So if you find any sadhu, any saint, stop there. And if he asks for the help, just give it or get yourself associated with the saints, with the sadhus. And if you start doing this, Navita, your karmas are going to be burnt. If you charity things, maybe 10 rupees every day to someone, 100 rupees every day to someone, make it a routine and give me feedback. How do you feel after 3 months? It should be a regular routine. When you sleep, before you sleep, you should ask yourself, Navita, that, did I do some charity today? Did I give something to someone today? Did I give a cloth or a food? Anything to anyone? Anything to anyone? Did I give that? Just give me a second, please. So that's what it is in the sixth house. Charity every day. If a saint asks you anything, just do it. Just do it. So if it is in the seventh house, that's extremely tricky. Your promise is towards your wife, your spouse, your husband. And if you don't have wife, if you don't have spouse, if you're not married, what to do then? Anyone who has in the seventh house? It should be a blind promise towards your spouse. That is what Navamsha is saying. Navamsha says you had some karmas in the past where there has to be an unconditional promise towards your spouse, towards your partner. Such people should do 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. job, maybe have a shop and have a commitment to their daily income. No matter what they do, they will have to work hard in their life. Hard work is what is required when you have the Navamsha Lagna falls in the seventh house. But the promise is, hey, keep promise for your spouse. If you don't do it, I'm not happy. Who is not happy? Your prarabdha is not happy with you. Your prarabdha is asking for that promise. And if you don't have a wife, maybe a buddy. Yeah, don't cheat. Business partners, no. Be very, very transparent to business partners. When you have it in the eighth house, the promise is to serve your extended family. Eighth house is your sasural. Eighth house is occult. Navamsha would be very happy if you can learn occult sciences, scriptures, the hidden secrets of rishis and munis. But the highest promises is towards the extended family. When you have your Navamsha falling in the eighth house and girl, a female calls me for a consultation, I just tell her straight, hey, your biggest charity is to serve your mother-in-law and father-in-law and the family of your husband or, the family of your wife. That will make your Navamsha very happy. That will make Vishnuji very happy. And if you have bad relations, try to improve them. Try to improve them. And improving relations, at least your side of relations. Someone is not recognizing what you're doing is his problem. At least your side of relationships, you should try to manage. People come and say, whatever I do for my mother-in-law or for my, father-in-law, they don't value that. They don't realize it. And I feel hurt. I said, don't feel hurt. Just do your karma. That is your promise from the prarabdha. Maybe you have one placement of the planet that says that, you're going to do it all, but you will get no recognition from them. When you go in the ninth house, your dharma is towards your religion. Your promise is towards your guru. Your promise is towards your higher education. Navamsha says, study, study, study. Study whole your life. Keep studying. Your promise should be a blind promise to your guru, your teacher, your father, fatherly figures, towards your dharma, towards Sanatan Dharma. the protocols of the Sanatana Dharma. And when you start doing this, your life will start changing. You will get unbelievable helps from this universe. Unbelievable helps. Yeah, Siddhartha says, my wife, and she does study, it comes naturally to her. You know, many promises will come naturally to you people. The only thing is whether you've been able to realize it or not. That realization, that anubhuti is very, very important. Did you realize it or not? And when you realize it, you are burning your karmas without doing charity. See, Navamsha, 9th house, Parulji, fantastic. Chitkara ji, fantastic. They will have to study. Their promise is study. They have to serve Guru. Their promise is to serve Guru. If they can recognize it, they are done with the Navamsha. Done. Khatam. They don't have to look at their Navamsha ever. It will be sorted. Have you ever thought why did Navamsha took your 9th house as a Lagna? Why? Because it took promise from the 9th house that you will take care of this 9th house. Navamsha is your prarabdha, right? And prarabdha took a promise from the 9th house. For me, it was 3rd house. Keep courage. That was the promise at the time of our birth. If it is the 10th house, why don't you have Guru? Because of your karmas, Parulji. Your karmas have to be burnt, and then you have to clear all the clutter and then reach to a point. That clutter has to be took maybe 30 years to you, 35 years to you. And then you reach that point where your promise towards the Navamsha started. It took around 30, 40 years for you to clear that clutter and see what is my promise. That's what it's for you, Satvinderji, also. It's for you as well. If it goes in the 10th house, it is for your father, it's for your job. You need to be 100% true towards your job, towards your work, towards your business. Like work is worship. That's one statement I use if your Navamsha Lagna lands to the 10th house of your D1. Karma Pradhan. Karma. You need to read Bhagavad Gita once in life religiously if your Navamsha Lagna enters the 10th house. Because Shri Krishna would have said Bhagavad Gita anywhere. Why did he say on the war ground? Because the message was that your life is going to be the war and you're going to read Bhagavad Gita and you're going to come out of that situations. Life is war for you and me, for everyone. We are fighting every day for every small thing, for our emotions, for our love, for our happiness, for our whatnot. Understand. Understand. When it comes to the 11th house, your biggest promise is towards society, towards your elder brother. That's what the Navamsha promises. Navamsha says, hey, will you promise me that you will help masses, you will help society, and you will also help your elder brother and elderly brotherly figures? And you will always sit in the Guru Charan. The lotus feet of your Guru is your promise. Once a month, once a week, go and visit your Guru and sit in his lotus feet or feet and take the blessings. Do what your Guru says. Just do it. And then you see that how your life will start giving you your promises back. Whatever you expect from Navamsha, Navamsha will give it to you because you kept the Navamsha promise. If it goes in the 12th house, the Navamsha wants you to do dhyana. He said, okay, you've done many things in your previous births. I give you the last promise. Do dhyana. Amitesh Sinha says 210% correct. I have been involved in helping elder brothers and society. 12th house, if it lands in the 12th house, your karma is dhyana. You need to meditate. You need to work in hospitals. Give something to in the hospitals every day or every month, every week. Give something. Go and give some psychological lectures in the jail. Go to asylums. Take meditation classes and then give meditation classes. Learn meditation and then teach meditation. First, learn meditation and then teach meditation. That is the promise of your Navamsha that you gave to the Navamsha, but you forget. But if you look at your horoscope, a good astrologer would be able to tell you that, hey, this is the karma you're supposed to do. Beside all your mantra jap, so whatever you're doing, whatever gurus are telling you, practically you have to do this karma. And that will change the entire scenario of your life. Everything will change after that. Every single thing. And I'm glad that 100% of you people are able to relate to what I'm saying. 100%. And if you don't relate, start doing it from tomorrow. Start doing it. Start thinking of it at least that what can I do to the promise of my Navamsha? What can I do? My son has in 12th house, he's born in US and feel 12th house of foreign. He has to go back to India and learn that yoga and meditation. And he's born in the 12th house to an Indian mother is because he has some promise in the 12th house as well, which is permanent foreign settlement. It shows that promise he gave, that is why he's born in the foreign lands. I mean, for him, it is his motherland, but for you, it is the foreign land. And definitely he will have some hidden talents, and to explore and to take that hidden talents higher is also one of the promises that he's given to the Navamsha. If he sings or dances or something, just ask him to be so truthful to those talents in his life. That's what Navamsha is asking for, from him, that hey, do it. Meditate, sing and dance, do Harinam in the foreign lands, read Bhagavad Gita and tell everyone the path. The last year has been all about internationalizing and connecting to the inner world. Yep. And when you do that promise, the things will start working. Yes, Vikas. Do it. Do the donation and the temple construction. My daughter, son-in-law, and grandson have all in the 12th houses. They need to meditate, Jyoti. Otherwise, their temperaments can go haywire. Their Navamsha can be scattered. There'll be no support from the Navamsha. They need to meditate. They need to do dhyana. They need to get up in the morning. They need to do yoga and dhyana. This was one of my favorite lectures on Navamsha. It's my research. You won't find it anywhere. This is what I wanted to teach you people today. I hope you can relate to this. And if you're not doing anything for the same, start doing something for the same. Start doing it from today itself. Donate, 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 Navita. Help Rishi Munis. Your health will be fine. Everything will be fine. Nothing will take a toll on you. This is the way to get immediate Vishnu blessings, irrespective of what planets are there, what is not there. Forget about it. That is the way we can get out of this vicious circle of life and death. I told you we are in an exile, we are in a problematic situation for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. Okay? Connects beautifully. Thank you. चलो आज इतना ही करेंगे